So we curated our own framework, which starts from the user persona or the buyer persona, just like the UI UX, saying who is the end user. So we create imaginary characters, give them a job, title, marital status, everything, and then we judge. Okay, how is this person going to react to these words or these colors?
Welcome to OFO Studio. My guest for today is Abhinay Jayan. He's CEO and founder at Creative Ano. Creative Ano's mission is to make the world a better place to look at. How did you come about that mission statement, Abhinay?
So it's just the urge. So once I started learning design, I used to, when we go to a restaurant or somewhere, we look at the menu card, and then sometimes we judge the restaurant based on the menu card.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Not just restaurants, every place.
Yeah, every place you judge it based on what it's designed, right? And then it sort of started itching me that I should change it. So I used to do a lot of freebies and say, when I was a freelancer, and say, you don't have to pay me anything, but I just want this place to have a good menu. So allow me to design it for you. And then logos. A lot of people got pissed off because it was a 21-year-old guy. Yeah, it's like this bachu who's coming in, calling the design shit. So yeah, that's how it started. But yeah, it's just the cockiness inside me, but it's a very genuine effort to make Indian design do good, because India is known for customer support and and IT and all of that.
Yeah.
It's not known for design, but
Not a lot of good design.
design is. But actually, there are brilliant designers in India.
Right.
Culturally, in every state, I think India has a lot of culture-rich art,
Right.
and so we should be good designers, right? So it's just on a mission to make an Indian company.
So do you incorporate elements of like design in Indian culture in your work?
Whenever we got a chance, yes.
Okay.
But the name itself, Creative Ano, is an Indian name.
Yeah.
In Malayalam, Creative Ano means are you creative?
Yeah.
So I wanted to start from there.
Uh-huh.
And the actual reason is the domain was very easy to get, creativeano.com. The other one's a little difficult, but starting from there. So to all the startups that sort of sign up with us for branding, we suggest a lot of Indian names.
Right.
Because, for example, if you take Saravana Bhavan and all of these restaurants, they're worldwide with an Indian name.
Right.
And a lot of people think with an Indian name you can't go worldwide.
Right.
People have actually told that out loud, saying, let's not have an Indian name. We might not go worldwide.
Right. When did you first start dabbling with design?
So I majored in music tech.
Okay.
So my university major is BSc Music Technology.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know of a lot of people who've done something like that.
Yeah, you can do it in India, but most people go outside the country too because of the equipments and the infrastructure and all.
Okay. Well, what happens like in music?
So they teach you to. They don't teach you actual music, but they teach you to handle the tech side of music.
Got it.
So all your recorders,
engineering.
sound engineering, yeah. But you have to. So they'll throw a synth at you, and then they'll say make different noises from the synth.
Got it.
You turn all the knobs and then make a song out of it. So what I used to do is I used to copy all the Rahman songs.
Yeah.
So once I submitted Dil Se Re on a synth, and the white guys went, wow, I was like, yeah, that's mine. So when I used to make, so I composed a little bit. So when I used to make music for myself, I used to do the video editing. I used to watch YouTube and do the video editing and the posters and all. So that's how I started designing. My funda is that creativity is the thing, and then music and design, all of these are different tools that you can practice creativity.
Absolutely.
So it was all part of it. And then when music didn't give me money to eat food, I turned to design, because my father has a marketing company called Toss the Coin.
Okay.
Yeah, they have been around for 12 years.
Wow.
They're doing really well. So I started freelancing for them with whatever, because I didn't have any job.
Okay. Well, what were you freelancing as?
As a graphic designer.
As a graphic
Yeah.
designer. Okay, so you worked in music design,
Yeah.
and then you moved to graphic design right after that.
I got a job in Apple for music tech.
Oh.
And then
Why did you not pursue it?
they threw me out because of COVID.
What?
Yeah. And then during COVID, I had to come back because they couldn't issue my visa.
Come back from?
UK. I was in UK. So I did my course in UK.
Okay.
And then I joined Apple in UK. and then I worked for 4 months as a temp.
Okay.
And then exactly when they had to give me an official offer letter for a permanent job,
Right.
COVID hit,
Ah.
and they couldn't issue my visa, so I had to come back.
Yeah.
And I was in great depression, and that's when my dad didn't want me to become useless, so he said, do these small design jobs, learn from these people.
Yeah.
Very kind of him and the company to sort of involve me there.
Were there any parallels that you could draw between, your work with music design and then moving over to graphic design? Did it help? Did your experience help?
Yes, but very psychologically,
Okay.
because in music, something that you realize right at the start is that not everybody will like what you make, especially when it's something creative.
Yeah. Even in design, yeah.
Yeah, so it
All
helped
design.
me manage. So if I had been very fresh to design the entire creative space, I would have had a huge shock when clients rejected my design.
Correct, yeah.
But because there was a huge number of people who already rejected my music, it was very easy for me to take up that. And like that, similarly, there were many psychological facts that affected. But it was just that there are a lot of brands that need design
Right,
more than anybody else needs music.
right.
So I shifted quickly.
Makes sense.
But then I had to upskill. It was not just I woke up
Yeah,
and became.
yeah,
So
obviously.
Skillshare was a great place for me to learn. I still have the subscription and I still learn. Yeah, a lot of YouTube, a lot of Skillshare, a lot of senior graphic designers from Toss the Coin, and Switchers. They made it easy. So
All right.
yeah.
And what made you break off and start an agency of your own?
I don't know if I can say that.
You
So
can.
Toss the Coin is a wonderful company.
Yeah.
But they were already at a level that I couldn't comprehend.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't like it when I don't know how I can say this. So if everything is given to me, it's just given to me,
Right.
then it's very difficult for me to. I wouldn't know
You wanted
much.
to
I wanted to
carve
learn.
out your own
yeah,
original
yeah,
path.
yeah.
That's
And I wanted to pick a niche,
Yeah.
and I realized that as I started becoming good at design, instead of me getting paid from Toss the Coin, if I had my own, I became a freelancer, then I could charge what I want, and I could.
How did you go about getting the projects as a freelancer?
No, I just went. My dad's partner, Reshma, I went and spoke to them saying, I would sort of
Like-
become a freelancer,
Yeah.
and then you just give me projects. And initially, I just want to build my portfolio.
Yeah.
You pay me whatever it is that you want to pay me. So I built my portfolio, and then from there, a lot of contacts helped me get small projects.
Yeah. So
And-
within graphic design, what all was in your portfolio?
I was very ignorant at that time, the different verticals in digital marketing itself. Toss the Coin is a digital marketing company, and
Yeah.
Creative One was a design company. So then I started learning UI UX, and I started learning video editing.
Right.
I started learning no-code, low-code platforms like Wix.
Nice.
And then I decided that these are the things that I want to do.
Mhm.
For marketing, you need a lot more experience. Design also, you need experience. But
Yeah.
my passion was more into design than marketing itself. So actually, I started learning Wix after I joined Toss the Coin, and today we are an authorized Wix partner.
Wow.
So we get a little bit of money from there. So yeah, so that's how we built it, and then I realized that you can't, for example, if there is a graphic designer, you can't expect him or her to do UI UX too.
Right.
I started knowing about these different verticals. So today in Creative One, we have UI UX designers who do only UI UX, and graphic designers who do only. We have B2C graphic designers, B2B graphic designers.
What's the difference between
Huge difference. B2B designs are boring. B2C is more very poppy and stuff that people actually look at.
Right.
Whereas B2B is extremely corporate and very difficult. Both are extremely difficult to do on their own. Something that I learned from music that I implemented in design was to understand the brief. If there is an emotion that's going on, I feel that's a huge gap in the market right now, where if there's a brief that you give me for a design, I might not fully understand where that design is going to reach, who the end user is. So I might design something that I like,
Right.
which might not necessarily work for you or for the end user.
Correct.
But for music, if it's a sad scene, you'll have to put up a sad song.
Yeah.
So it's understanding the brief a lot more.
How do you pick out the emotion in the brief? How do you tap into that?
So we have a framework for that. It's
Can you
getting too
explain
technical.
that? Please.
So, UI UX has a framework,
Yeah.
and the other verticals in design may or may not have a framework. If you learn it formally, you have a framework, but otherwise, they don't teach you these things.
Right.
I am myself, I'm a self-taught guy. So we curated our own framework, which starts from the user persona or the buyer persona, just like the UI UX, saying who is the end user. So we create imaginary characters, give them a job, title, marital status, everything,
Okay.
and then we judge. Okay, how is this person going to react to these words or these colors?
Yeah.
And then we go about doing the design. So then we understand the emotion. Actually, the emotion is actually one part that you can. For example, our buyer personas can be right, our typography can be right, our design can be perfect. But if that person, for example, had a road rage on the way home,
Yeah.
they will swipe across your design because they're in a different mindset.
Yeah.
So you've still not cracked that part. It's very difficult to crack.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we
But
sort
can you
of.
even do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I actually, with all the AI things
That's
that are
very
happening,
interesting question.
I don't know. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But that's how we go about sort of at least 90-95% into nailing the brief
Okay.
is very important. It's very difficult for the designers to, or the content writers to sort of understand the tone. But we actually should be called a research company, because we take, even if it's 1-page brochure, we take 2 to 3 weeks to study.
Wow.
Which a lot of customers don't like, but the customers who see value in it, they sort of sign up with us.
Yeah.
Because if, for example, Ofofo, if you guys are a marketplace for cybersecurity,
Right.
so you need to be really good at in that industry.
Right.
Now, if I were to do something for you, I'll have to be good at that too.
Right.
I'll have to understand a lot more. I will not be able to learn as much as you did because you have been in this for a while. But if not, I'm going to be making shitty designs. So we have to wake up every day and learn about a new industry and then design for them. So it's very challenging, but
But I think that's the best way to go about it too.
yeah,
I feel.
yeah. So along the way, I decided that the way Creativano can generate good designs is if we try and fill gaps in the market. So one of the gaps, like I mentioned, is the brief, right? They don't understand the brief. So if you go to a designer, ask for a brochure, they'll give you a brochure.
Yeah.
Very minimal questions asked.
Right.
Probably all the common words like target audience and stuff like
Yeah.
that is something. Another gap is the turnaround time.
Right.
I myself, in the early ages, I've missed out replying to emails and stuff, which didn't reflect well.
Yeah.
And then I understood that it's not just me. Many people in the
Yeah.
market, because we're not very professional. As in, it's not an organization or a corporate vibe.
Right.
Yeah. So all these gaps you're trying to fill in: turnaround time, costing. For example, when you tell somebody a website costs 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs,
Yeah.
they are usually taken aback. But then if you split it into 5 months and say your website is anyway going to take 5 months for us to make, why don't you pay me every month something? They go for that. So trying to split these, we charge by the hour, which most design agencies don't. They say one brochure 5K, any iteration 1K per iteration, some stuff like that.
Right.
It didn't really make sense to me. How are you quantifying that? So we started charging by the hour. That's the biggest headache that I've ever gotten myself into because you have to maintain timesheets. And then mark billable, non-billable. Sometimes you don't know what is billable, you don't know what is
Yeah,
non-billable.
but there's a transparency to it. It's more fair.
100%. So we give the customers a customer portal where they can see how many hours they've used this month. So thanks to Zoho. So I'm promoting so many brands now. So yeah, so that's, I don't know what your question was. I kept going on and on.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
Or probably just stay over here. How big is your team?
12 at the moment.
12 at the moment.
Yeah, and
And how are
March.
the responsibilities divided?
So we have UI UX, like I mentioned, UI UX, B2C, B2B graphic designers, content writers.
Right.
We have a content strategist and a brand strategist.
Okay.
The main responsibility for the both of them are to understand what. So they do the major studying part of it, and then they teach the rest of them.
Got it. What happens if the customer is not happy with your research and they say that okay, this went in another direction, even though in your heart you know that this is the truth, but the customer doesn't understand it. Does that ever happen?
when they see a genuine effort for us when we are trying to learn something, then they support us. When they don't like the design, we say, you need not like the design, I need not like the design, but this is what your buyer persona wants.
Right.
Most of them take it. But usually there are many times when we have not understood what the customer does completely, even after the research, because it's something really technical.
Right.
But I should say that the customers we have are very, accommodative, and they take time off their schedule to teach us.
That's nice.
Because they see value in it.
Nice.
And they've obviously signed up with other people too, and
Yeah.
then nobody makes an effort to learn.
Yeah.
And like right now I'm going on and on because you're talking about Creative One, right? Same way, if you go to somebody and ask them what they do, they're going to go on and on. So
No, if you're passionate about it and if you're methodical
Yeah.
about your entire process
And
and,
it-
it's transparent.
yeah, and it's transparent. Actually, a little off topic. Transparency is one of the gaps that we're trying to fill.
Yes.
I've actually posted on LinkedIn saying the next big thing that's going to disrupt all markets is going to be transparency.
How?
The more transparent you are. So this came from one of the Shark Tank US guys, Mark Cuban. He's one of the guys I look up
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
And he has this, I forgot the brand's name, but he has this medical brand that he supplies. I might be wrong. People might trash me for saying
all right.
wrong facts, but he gives out medicines in the true cost.
Oh, yeah. I think
Yeah,
I've heard
Clinic
about something.
Plus or something like that. And he's extremely transparent about this is the true price. My markup is this, and you can buy it, which is way lesser than what you will get in a normal pharmacy.
Right.
So if you think about it, the more you trust people when they are transparent.
Correct.
Yeah. So the more, so that's why we have a customer portal for the hours that we've used. Sometimes people come and ask us, why did a logo take you so many hours to make?
Right.
And then we say, because we took it, but I understand your point of view because I'm charging you by the hour. So we'll cap it. We'll probably say 10 hours it took.
Right.
And then it's reflected. And so the more transparent we are, they have a comfort level with us saying,
Yeah.
after a point, after 2-3 months, they don't even check the timesheets.
Yeah.
And like, whatever you bill me, you bill me. So that's how I feel. It's just trust. It's, when you keep saying trust, like, how do you make them trust you? So everybody keeps saying, gain trust and build relationships. And the only way you do that is by being transparent.
Correct.
So even in personal relationships.
Yeah.
I don't want to go deeper than that. But
For another time.
yeah, for another time.
Yeah. So, what else is on the roadmap for you guys?
I want to make sure we attract good talent. There are a lot of companies in India, design companies.
It's a saturated space, I feel now.
Yes, too many companies.
Not a lot of good ones though, but a lot of companies.
I don't want to say that, but because there are too many guys who are very fierce, and there are a lot of bullies in the market. But I just want good talent to do good design so that
The world looks better.
the world is a better place to look at. Yeah, and also because of India. Yeah. Other than that, I am a huge tech fan, but not a geek. So I don't know the
What's the
nitty-gritties.
difference between the two?
I appreciate good tech. When I see something like my phone, we had the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Good tech, iPhone mini, they managed to fit everything there into a small phone.
Right.
I appreciate that, but I don't know the nitty-gritties, and I've always wanted to.
But that's still designed to be fair. It's the form factor that you are appreciating.
I never thought about that. Yeah, but I want to definitely have a product one day. I don't know anything about it, but it's just fancy. I have
a software product or a physical product?
a software product.
Software product.
Yeah, and I have a lot of, because we do branding day in day out. I have a lot of names, Indian names. But someday, if all the stars align, we'll have a good product. But yeah, for as of now, in the foreseeable future, it's just making the design space extremely transparent, very approachable. Design companies are not approachable, is what I feel. All the big ones are
Yeah.
very cocky and very. So, I want Creative One to be approachable, and I want Creative One to be transparent, and I want Creative One to have good talent, despite your language barriers that you have,
Yeah.
despite your otherworldly knowledge, despite your anything else, because a lot of people get rejected because of that. For
Yeah.
example, somebody doesn't speak good English, they don't want them on the team.
Right.
Many things like this. I don't want all of that to stop people from generating good design.
Right.
So it's like Ofofo, we're trying to form a community
Mm-hmm.
rather than a company, and have just keep designing work.
It's amazing. How do people reach out to you, Abhinay?
How do I do my sales or?
No,
Oh, just-
do your sales. How about that?
Oh yeah, you can get onto Creativano's website. My email ID is aj@creativano.com.
Uh-huh.
And there are many approachable people in the company. Everyone is approachable. Find us on LinkedIn, and you can hit any one of us up, and we will immediately respond to you.
It's amazing, Abhinay.
Yes.
Great to have
Great.
you on the podcast, man.
First
Thanks a lot.
First of many. Yes.
First of many.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love being here.